Let's go, Facebook. Let's go, YouTube. Let's tap in. Yet another week, and we got stuff to talk about. Let's go. Give y'all some time to get in, but we got to tap in. Let's talk about this. Kentucky and Louisville. Let's talk about what happened this week. Hey, Louisville fans, I need some topics from you guys. It seems like y'all fan base is depressed right now. Football season is ending, basketball season is starting, and you guys done got quiet on me. Come on, let's tap in. This is for y'all. We can create a therapy session if we need to. Come on, fellas. Give y'all some more time. Like and share. Everybody, like and share. Tap in. Be a part of the discussion today. Let's get it. Give y'all a few more minutes. You got 2 minutes to get in here. Got less than a minute and 30 seconds to get in here. All right, let's go. Less than a minute. Come on, less than a minute. Get up in here. Come on, Louisville fans, I need you. Come on, Kentucky fans, I need you. Get up in here. Less than 30 seconds. Y'all ain't hearing my kids in the background. They going crazy. Hey, I'm sorry for y'all taking jabs and during the intro. It just comes natural. I gotta stop. I'm trying to. 2, 1. Hey, if you're not in, you get ready to miss the intro. You get ready to miss the beginning of it. This is probably as nice as I'm gonna be. I'm gonna try to be. Give me a second. Welcome to this edition of Cats vs. Cards, which is week 15. No football games to talk about, but we're going to talk about football. We got the transfer portal to talk about. We got some NIL to talk about, maybe between both teams. We got some holes to fill for both teams. See what's coming up next. We got bowl games coming up as well, but we can talk about basketball as well. Hey, guys, Louisville fans, we can only talk about Fire KP so much. We got to change up the conversation just a little bit. All right, maybe we'll have a conversation on that. Talk about basketball. Is Kentucky back after taking that embarrassing L, I guess you want to say? We'll talk about that and more here in just a second. Let's go ahead and show our crew that we got. The top left. We're the first person. He's a returner. He's always on here. PJ, what's going on, PJ?
What's up, everybody? Cats by 90. Cats by 90.
Cast by 90. Let's go to the right of him with the big Louisville Cardinal in his background. Perry Henderson. What's going on, Perry? All the way from Arizona.
L1C44.
You keep stealing my thunder.
And the mystery man. Should I even say his name? The mystery man at the bottom right.
Because I'm disgruntled. This is
The disgruntled fan.
No name. He said, "Don't use his name."
But we still here. We still L1C4. I said I was going to step off because of what happened this week, but I'm still here. I'm just ashamed, but I'm still here.
Hey, a certain individual, a Caucasian individual that joined us one week. Hey, he talked a lot of mouth on the team. He on the podcast. Once Kentucky lost, he didn't show back up. Hey, man. Hey, you can come back on the podcast. You can put the bag on, whatever you gotta do. All right, man. Last but not least, we got a new one in the house right here. Hey, this is a special guest. Put your hands together for Sean Gurton. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How y'all been doing?
We've been doing really good. Good to see you here. How's it feel? First time on the podcast, man.
Man, glad to be here. I've been, basketball season. I got a Monday off, so I thought I'm gonna come join y'all.
Hey, I'm glad that you're here. Hey guys, if you guys haven't noticed, this is going to be a little bit different than our usual weeks. We have one Kentucky fan and we got 3 Louisville fans. And of course, I'm supposed to be neutral. I'm trying my best to be neutral. I went to a funeral and I went to a wedding this past weekend, and both places I heard, hey, I like the show, but you be throwing a lot of shots and I don't even think they notice. So I'm going to try to keep it in. I did it during the intro. I'm sorry, guys, but from here on out, I'm gonna try to be. Now, if PJ needs some help, I got you, because hey, it's got 3 Louisville fans on this podcast. All right, so hey, let's go to where all the fan base is at. The fan base right now, even though we got one disgruntled fan that doesn't want to be recognized, let's talk about this Louisville basketball team, this Louisville basketball season, man. Coming off of 2 L's, I think both of them was very winnable. And actually, if ESPN is correct, they was.
Let's do the football. Let's do that.
He said, "Let's do the football." He's trying to hurry up and get off the screen. No, let's get this over with, man. It's gonna be painless, and we can move on. But I mean, you guys had two games against Virginia Tech and then DePaul, both of them on the road. And if ESPN is right, the exact same scores. 75-68, which is crazy. I thought for sure that you guys will win against DePaul. Sean, first time on with us, do us the honors. What happened?
I was in between basketball games.
Okay.
Game, so I was going from one gym to the other one. And I was listening to Paul Rogers on the radio.
Got you.
Man, this team just isn't good. They're just not good. I mean, they have talent. We have been saying they have talent. But when you let DePaul get up, 19 was the biggest lead they had?
Yeah, 19.
And then Louisville made a run and, cut it to 7, maybe even 5, and couldn't get no closer. I mean, somebody said DePaul has one of the highest point per possession in the country that they give up. They said they give up over 2 points per possession.
Got you.
Think about that. You know what I'm saying? They said some team they played, a mid-major, was scoring over 2 points each time they had possession of the basketball.
Ouch.
and you couldn't beat DePaul. You
Yeah.
could not. You got smoked by DePaul. So
It's
it's
it's it's very defeating. It's very defeating. Louisville shot 39% on. I mean, was DePaul's defense that good all of a sudden? Shot 39% from the field, 26% from the free throw. You had 10 turnovers and 32 rebounds. But here's the kicker. DePaul had 17 turnovers.
yeah. It's not like
That's
we
just
getting beat by teams that's playing good basketball. They're not
yeah.
playing good basketball either. You know what I'm saying? We getting beat by mid-major who's not playing good basketball.
I
He
mean,
done made
PJ.
50 points and didn't get nothing for that.
No, yeah. I missed that. I missed that, guys. I'm caught up. I caught up in the abyss. All right, so
Yeah.
let me go back. Let's
Patrick
go
Mahomes
all the
talked
way
about
back.
officiating. Now, you gonna carry this on into this too?
Yes. Yeah, hey, Sean made some good points there. They're just not good, and you're getting beat by a team that's not playing great basketball. You deserve some points right there. PJ, does it go back to the point guard position? I mean, what's the deal?
I think it's man. I said this to some friends of mine. I think I mentioned to you all in the chat. I said at the end of the day, no matter how much talent you have, roster construction matters.
Yeah.
And to me, there are there are certain guys evals that I don't understand. I didn't understand why with the guys they had out there in the transfer portal, why it went this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll say I was wrong about Trey White. I thought Trey White would be able to translate and give you some stuff he gave you at USC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily taking on that much of a bigger role, but him being able to take on a bigger role is kind of exposed to things like maybe he was better in that little 6 man type role. So
Mm-hmm.
I think roster construction is what it is, man. To be honest with you,
Roster
end of the day,
construction.
outside of just coaching things that are there, I think roster construction, the evaluations on your point guard. I don't think I never bought the Sky Clark. Y'all know that I never been
Yeah.
on the Sky Clark train. He was coming
Yeah.
to UK or not.
You did say
And
that.
I look around the transfer report. I'm like, man, I see guys that are playing really good right now that could have been the guy, but it sounded like the assistants, namely
Uh
Noah
huh.
Smith, um, they settled for someone who had a popular name and a popular following and ranking, and said we're gonna go this route. And I think it was a bad eval.
So Perry, do you agree with that? That is roster construction. Do you think that the way the coaching staff is constructed? I mean, what's the problem here? Because it does. I tried to be a KP apologist, but it does seem like a dumpster fire, man.
It is a
Okay.
dumpster fire. All three of you are correct. It is a dumpster fire. There's problems with the roster, problems with the coaching. Let's move on to football. And
They
Well, I
they
got some
don't even
more.
want to talk
now, let me say, I'm gonna
points.
say this. I watched the game. I watched the first half, and you could tell that the energy level was just really, really low.
Mm-hmm.
For White and for Clark. And so when when the score was tied at 2020, it was a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
White proceeded to he had to have been like minus 10 right there on the floor. It looked like he had a bad pass, he had a bad handoff, he missed the defensive assignment, and his shoulders just drooped, and his whole body language is like he didn't want to be there, like he didn't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that seemed to affect the entire team from that point on. I think they fought more in the second half. I didn't even watch the second half. I think I turned it on for like 2 minutes and then switched it back to something else. To follow up to end it all, it was just a weird game to take in. You see how somebody like White can really command the ball, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like his first thought is score, score, score. And I don't know what the coaches told him, but like you were saying, I think it was you or PJ was saying he needed to stay at USC, maybe not in a 6 man role, but it's like him and Mike James, they occupy the same spot, except for Mike James is better down in the post, and White is all perimeter. But they're 3 men or 4 men, they're 2 3s or twos. They're not guards,
Mm-hmm.
and this is part of the Kenny Payne experiment is to make a bunch of 6'5" guys be guards, right? Because he remembers Denny Crum doing that, with them. So try to make a bunch of 6'5" guys handle the ball, and then be dynamic scores, and it's just
not working. Just not working. Now, hey, Richard, I know where Richard stands. It just fire the man. He doesn't even. Yeah, my fault. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. First off, this bag is hot.
He can't breathe in it.
All right. I just what I noticed in this game. Everybody else is right, but one other thing, they out rebounded us. They just beat us on the boards this whole game. And at first I was like, okay, is it because of our posture attitude? It's because we really have been beat down. The players have really been beat down ever since that Chattanooga loss. That's all they've been hearing is negativity. So they really don't have no motivation to play. I mean, I looked at DePaul's roster. Yeah, they probably average across the board, maybe an inch or two taller than our players, other than Dennis Evans, who's a 7-footer. But most of those players on DePaul are what U of L is normally accustomed to recruiting, and that's those tweeners, those 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys, and most of them are that height.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say on the rebound because that's probably the first game we've been out rebounded, even though we are 4 and 5. That's probably the first game we've been out rebounded and then out rebounded in the margin that we were out rebounded. But the other thing I noticed, I don't see leadership.
It's only 2 rebounds.
Yeah, you guys were out rebounded 36-32, so it wasn't that bad. But I mean, go ahead.
Let me check that because when I was watching the game, it was a bigger margin than that, except toward the end when they was trying to make that little run in the last few minutes to make the score close. Because remember, most of the game, Louisville was down double digits. And
gotcha.
We were just on the board, so it was really a bigger margin than that, and we still got out rebounded.
I got you. Yeah, you got out rebounded.
The first game this season that we've been out rebounded. But the other thing I don't see out there is leadership. I don't see in all of our teams before. You knew who the leader of the team was, whether it was Russ or whether it was Siva or whether it was Paget, or you knew who the leader on the court was. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I see players come down. If they get their back, they bucket. I don't see nobody. Good job. Nobody on the team. Nobody on the sidelines. Pat. Hey. Getting. Putting the other guy in check. Hey man, you missed that block. I don't see that.
Well,
I don't see that I don't see that. And maybe that's what they need. They need somebody who can pierce through all of the negativity and lead on the floor.
I mean, you always, any team will need that. And, I've seen a couple of games, it looks like that BHH, he was trying to be that person, Hatfield. But, I mean, Sean, do you not see any leadership with this team?
Be honest, I think it starts at the top. I think it starts with Kenny Payne.
Yeah.
I think he has set I think he sets the tone. Look, I've been listening to Louisville radio all day and all day last week, and everybody's kind of asking, where's the intensity from Kenny? Where's the intensity from the coaching staff? Then you see it every now and again, but when he's in press conference and you just got beat DePaul and you laughing like this doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Or you trying to play it off. Maybe you're laughing to keep from crying. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, perception becomes reality. And look, the fans are pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Everybody who was Kenny Payne supporters, he's lost them. I mean, you don't hear from Jerry Eves now. You don't hear from Butch Beard. You don't hear from these guys now, and they was all about Kenny. So,
what is Tyrone Johnson talking about?
I don't know. Maybe
he said tidy whities.
He's talking about your boy, his underwear issue. I guess.
I got you. Yeah, but you make a great point though, Sean. Starting from the top and with Tyrone Johnson, that's very comical. Number one, but it's kind of true. Like what coach would go into the press conference and be like, I don't think I should tell you. Well, don't say it. And what you said, just like, dude, why are you talking? You know, and I seen that. I'm just like, dude, and to hear people already say, I don't think he's head coach material. I'm just like, you showing it in the press conference. Go ahead. Somebody
And-
wants to
and-
talk.
Understand this. Louisville
this is
fans
his
understand
first-
this. He's like Charlie Strong without the wins. Charlie
Is that-
Strong used to get up on the mic in the press conferences and sort of babble, and I don't know. And people are like, "What's he saying?" And
Well, Charlie Strong.
He did a
you
Star
can
Wars
tell
impression.
Charlie Strong
he
had
didn't
the
look
wins.
at you.
though.
He didn't look at you in the eye. He had that old Southern slave mentality. He wouldn't look. He would talk looking down because they from that upbringing where you don't talk back to man.
Yeah.
Don't look him in the eye. So you can understand Charlie, but Kenny Payne. Remember, guys, this is his first coaching gig. So a lot of these flubs. You just hope that
I
if
give
he
it to you.
had been a head coach someplace else, this stuff would have been weeded out by the time he got to Louisville.
Yeah.
To be a first-time head coach at this program is not that. I think Louisville made their mistake, and I think Louisville did it because they kowtow to the fan base. But we are a program where we cannot bring in a first-time. This coach is going to be the first time. This is his first-time head coach. We can't. We just can't do that. I mean, we did that with Denny, but that was a different era. In this era now, with Neil and the transfer portal, all this other stuff going on, you have to be on your stuff to coach this program.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, up until hold on, back on. Up until
He put the bag back on.
we are a blue
I'm gonna
chip
give you.
program.
I'm gonna
I
give you
don't care
a
what
point.
anybody says. Louisville is a blue chip program, and we deserve better. I'm just saying that now. We deserve better, and to have a coach who's never coached in this day and time to come and try to coach U of L, that was the mistake we made.
I mean,
Wait, before
go ahead, Sean.
Well, and PJ, you probably follow college basketball probably just as much as anybody I know. But to his point, who are the new superstars and coaches in the college game now?
That's a good.
Smart.
Go ahead.
And
Shaka
because,
Smart.
well, look.
Go ahead, PJ.
I believe if we got rid of Payne,
again,
we could go after Shaka Smart.
no, so I'll say this, and I'll get what Sean was trying to say. Sean, go ahead, Sean. My bad. Go ahead.
Well, and look, I heard that Shaka wanted the job before they hired Chris Mack. He wanted the Louisville job.
Well, like I
but-
said, we're going to put that money for him.
At that time, I didn't want Shaka because he's only, other than the VCU team he took to the Final Four, he's had numerous first round exit and only been to the second round twice since
At
then.
this point,
So-
I would take NIC.
You're right, but still, to my point, I'm trying to make. If North Carolina could have hired anybody but Hubert Davis, you think they would have? If Duke could hire anybody else to Snyder, do you think they would have? So my question still remains: who is the hot new coaches coming up? Like 30 years ago, you had John Calipari, you had Rick Pitino, where people was like, "Yeah, that's the guy," and whoever gets that guy now is. I mean, he's going to win national championships and take you to Final Four. I don't know who that guy is right now.
I felt like we talked about that before last year, Perry, didn't we? And it seems like that person is not existing, but it looks like PJ's got an answer for you. Go ahead, P.
Nah, I was gonna say the same thing. Sean kind of already hit on those spots. Is the fact that like people at that time, people were trying to get him out of Texas, right? And then now he's in Marquette, where I think at this rate, when you talk about after Chris Mack, I think the way the Marquette job is going, I'm not certain. Some coaches are good when they find their niche. And right now, like that's what you're kind of hearing with him right now in Marquette. Kind of like found his spot. Now, I think also going back to KP, the whole he didn't have a job beforehand. Well, Penny Hardaway came right out of high school and coached.
Yeah.
And whether people like to really over exaggerate.
Wait a minute. Pump your brakes.
What's that?
He did coach, whether it's high school level. He did coach. KP hadn't been a head coach anywhere. Period.
Okay.
So I see you.
Okay. I see what you're saying as far as a head coach in high school, but I'm gonna tell you now. And this is no shade at anybody, but there are certain high school coaches. Am I going to readily take them over a guy who's coached at the top college level as an assistant and the top and in the NBA? I don't know if I'm saying that. I think you're saying that now because of what KP has done. But I think anybody realistic, if you take a guy out of high school, like, oh, this is a high school coach, I'm going to bring him to Memphis, right? Now it was a little bit more the validity was there because it was Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway had connection to AAU. He was bringing the number one player in the country, and James Wiseman. Like all these things were the reason why he got a job. He was from, he played. He's an alumni guy, so all that stuff was there for him. What I'm saying
Larry
is
Brown on his bench too.
Now,
True, exactly, yeah.
What I'm saying is,
there you go.
KP. What I'm saying
you're making
is
my point, but I'm gonna get to it. Go ahead.
No. I didn't because I'm saying that he still had experience enough. I think he had experience even with the post games. He's had enough opportunities to do better in the post games. Like he's done interviews with the Knicks. He's done interviews at Oregon. He's done interviews at Kentucky. This is not the first time he's done interviews.
That's
Some
true.
guys are just bad at doing interviews. Period. Just like
that might be
guys
it.
are just bad at interviews. Period. Players are like that. You got players who I don't really enjoy interviewing this player because he's not really going to. He's either going to say something stupid or he's not going to say something that makes any sense to me. Period. But I think, to me, as much as we give Kenny Payne, which I agree, he deserves a lot of. He deserves it. I said it again. I'll say it again. I feel like we still don't give enough critique to the assistants that he has. He went out and got who the fan base wanted. I remember when they said they was hiring Nolan. Oh man, they was going crazy on the timeline.
You right about that.
Absolutely insane. And Nolan, and just as much as Kenny has failed, Nolan has failed tremendously.
Nobody wanted Danny Manning. When we saw the hire for Danny
Nolan.
Manning, we saw his record at Wake Forest and how he had only went to the tournament like once in 7 years, and he's a money drain. And once in 7 years at Wake Forest, and once at Tulsa, which is understandable because it's Tulsa. But Wake Forest, you can win at Wake Forest. And so nobody wanted. I just wanted to get that straight. Nobody wanted Danny Manning.
I'm mostly speaking about Nolan. I'm mostly speaking about Nolan.
But go ahead, finish up.
No, go ahead and get your point. Questionable man. What is your name?
Disgruntled.
Disgruntled man.
The unknown soldier.
First off, you made one point. You made one issue. You said Kenny. When Penny got down there at Memphis, he had Larry Brown on the bench. We have nobody of that caliber on the bench for Louisville. So I'm saying a winning coach who could help you bridge that gap between inexperience to experience. We got nothing but losers sitting on the bench. Yeah, y'all talk about Nolan Richards, but really, be honest with you, we didn't have a Larry Brown. We didn't carry over anybody from the previous regime. What's his name that got heated with Matt that left? I can't think. Who?
The Keys?
No, start with a G. The last name.
Gianni or I know
whoever.
He
had managed to secure somebody who had some kind of winning record someplace to help bridge the gap, help make that transition. Hey, you inexperienced, I'm an experienced head coach. I've been winning at a D1 program. I've gotten to the tournament. These are the pitfalls you can avoid early.
Yeah. Well, I
had it. He also brought in. He came in with a good talent that he was bringing in. Kenny Payne didn't do that, so it made it even harder because, of course, we was on probation, or we had to deal with all that. But still, he had all these pitfalls. And yes, I can't really fault Kenny for some of the mistakes he made because it's all about experience. But when you're trying to compare, Penny Hardaway is probably the only coach I've seen come in, take his alma mater, and be successful on that level. See what I'm saying? But
no, but you make a good point.
Was not on staff.
I couldn't get to KFC in time.
Wait, Larry Brown was not on staff when he first got there. Larry Brown was not on staff. That's
gotcha. Okay.
So give me some points.
But he brought him on staff.
I didn't realize it. But I think everybody can agree though. That one of take the bag off. I think everybody can agree that probably the biggest mistake that Kenny Payne has made is with the coaching staff. I think we all can agree with that, right? Nobody's shaking their head. Yes. What is the biggest mistake of Kenny Payne?
The biggest mistake he had was coming on board and thinking everything was going to be given to him.
I think one point that y'all made with Penny Hardaway, you can even say with Juwan Howard in Michigan, they had names from being in the NBA. It's the same thing with Deion Sanders at Colorado.
Okay.
It's because they already had names unless you were a diehard college basketball fan.
That's a good point.
Kenny Payne for being the assistant at UK. But other than that, you don't know, people didn't know who Kenny Payne was. So that's the difference when you say Penny Hardaway and you have Kenny Payne. And look, everybody wanted Kenny to work. And at this point, it's not going to work. So my question is, how much longer does he have? I mean, will he make it to January 1?
Mm-hmm. He ain't got no choice to make it January 1.
I don't know.
I mean, but that's the question, though. How long does it take until he's out? Does he make it the full season? Is he going, after the New Year's?
We need COVID right now. I hate to say
it. We need COVID right now.
COVID to come through and cancel the season.
I personally think that Louisville tactically will wait to the end of the season because trying to pull a coach from another school, if that's what we're going to do, I don't think Louisville's going to make that mistake again, trying to pull up somebody who's never been coaching before and never had some chops. So we're going to have to go after somebody who's already in place. And to do that during the season, that's only going to make that school double down, and it's going to be a hot mess. And, it's going to be money that hand over fist. I think Louisville tactically will wait to the end of the season.
But my question to you is, if that Yum Center has only got 3,000 people in it, and the biggest crowd you have is UK, and 75% of that crowd is wearing blue, and you get in the ACC schedule, and you're not even drawing 5,000, there's going to be businesses downtown Louisville. It's going to be like something's got to change.
Something's got to happen.
Oh yeah,
that's a good point.
If some and the saying, if something is and if something
that's a good point.
Is inevitable, if something is inevitable, then you got to do it immediately. We know.
We only got it's only 2.5 months left in the season. Really.
Yeah, but
so you're not gonna.
But how many days is that 2.5 months that you have dates at the Yum Center where you're not going to even get 5,000 fans?
I don't think that's an issue. I seriously don't think that's an issue because even if, let's say, for instance, we fire him next week, who are you going to get in quick enough to make that turnaround to compensate those people that you're talking about, those businesses talking about this year? That's not going to happen. So that's not an issue.
This season's a waste.
Can I say another thing?
If you fire him, it's a waste. You ride this out with Nolan or Danny, and then you go at March and you throw a lot of money at somebody.
Go ahead, PJ.
I think I kind of agree with, even though I don't want to see KP out like this, I do agree in the sense of moving on. In a sense, because this is where I think about it at is.
Hey, hold up. Time out. This is the first time I've heard PJ talk about moving on from KP. I just had to note that.
Yeah,
I had to note that. Hey, I need to give him some applause for that one.
Hey, man, it's the ball game. But look, it's the ball game, and like I said, I hate it for him. But when did Chris Mack? He left right after January?
Yeah, it was like January.
Yeah, they turned it over.
To me, again, we talk about names, right? If you go to any of these events, a name you will hear outside of your NBA guys is Kenny Payne.
Yeah. His
name rings. It rings around, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, and when this dude had left the team, when Chris Mack quit, right? When he quit, emphasis on the Q, they waited too long, to me, to hire Kenny Payne. I felt like, because by the time he came, listen, all the stuff that's happening now, transfer report, all this stuff, all this recruiting, people are locked up. So now you're going into a season already playing from behind because Chris Mack didn't leave. He like when he was leaving like a bunch of great players around. Second of all, now you have to come in from behind and try to pick up pieces to play this season. I feel like they waited too long to give him the job when they knew he was already the guy.
PJ, he had enough talent to win more than 4 games.
Look, again, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying again, the foundation is everything. I'm saying he has to have to play from behind.
Yeah.
Us five can get out there and win 4 games.
That's false.
Hey, man.
I don't
I can
agree
win
with that,
4
man.
games by myself.
Hey,
Obviously,
man.
New Mexico State could have. They had 4 guys on the team and could have won the game. See what I'm saying?
They
So
almost won with
it's
4
not-
guys. Almost. They almost came back and pulled it off.
That's insane.
4
That's
guys.
insane.
Yes.
So
3 times.
You're not
So
saying
we
that.
all okay to end this. So we're all in agreement that KP doesn't make it past this season. This is over with. It's just if you fire him early or fire him at the end of the season.
He's
You know
not
what?
going to make it to the end of the season.
He's not going to make it
what's
to the end of the
gonna
season.
happen? We saying all of this.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be surprised when it's January 1 and Kenny Payne's still the coach, to be honest with you.
Got
No,
you.
he's still going to be here. I think the only way he's going to get out here sooner is if he gets in here, and not only is he going to lose the UK, but these first few week games in the ACC, we get blowed out. See what I'm saying? That'll get him out of here sooner. But
If he
Got
loses
you.
the next 2 games, he
So-
might be out of that sooner because right now those are the only 2
We
games
not
that we
Oregon
win.
State. We Louisville. Oregon
yeah,
State
but
kept
see,
their back forward.
that's the thing we got to look out for. That's what I'm saying. They're probably going to give him to the end of the season to grade because if he goes in here, let's say for instance,
Give him to the end of the season to grade.
by the end of, let's say for some miracle, Christmas miracle, something happens, he slip up and beat UK.
Christmas
I'm just saying.
Hey guys, he's praying already.
He feels the hair on his arms.
I'm not
raising
playing
up.
nothing. I'm just saying in some
My
alternate
life.
universe, some parallel universe, we watch Flash, we watch
That's
all
funny.
these superhero movies. Some parallel universe, he slips up and they win.
Multiverse.
In multiverse.
Then he somehow magically beats a couple of teams in the ACC that he shouldn't beat. He might end up being around here next season.
He needs
That's
to
the-
bench.
that's the
He
thing
needs
I-
to
we
bench
have to worry
Sky
about
Clark.
as UofL
That
fans.
starts with
Where
He
he's
needs
gonna
to
be-
bench Sky Clark.
Hold on, guys.
He's gonna be so sorry, but he ends up winning games he shouldn't win. But that's the part we have to look out for. Because
All
will they pull the trigger? That's the question.
So Perry, be on record. Does he make it the whole season, or is he out early?
He shouldn't have made it past the first loss to Chattanooga. That's my opinion. He shouldn't have made it past the first. They should have saw it and said, "Yeah, this ain't gonna work. It ain't changing. It's the same record, different."
I got you.
turntable." He should have been gone. That's it.
Well, y'all know what I said. I said
If he expects to win,
8 wins by the time the UK game, he's gone. So we'll see.
if he expects to win, he needs to make some changes on his roster. He needs to get rid of at least one of the cancers. It's either White or Clark. One of them needs to sit, and he needs to start Johnson. Johnson is the best point guard on the floor. In every game we've watched, even against the other opponents, he's one of the best players on the floor. He needs to put him in, and he needs to do some things. He's just not going to do it. I mean, he's just not going to do it. He's not ready to make that. He's not ready to make those decisions.
So Corey Bruce asked, who does Louisville bring in? Tyrone Johnson said bring in Gillespie.
Nah, I would say the right answer, the correct. I think there's two. There's
Mac
two
back.
people who actually fit. I'm gonna tell you two people that I
He
think
said
are really
bring-
prime candidates. I think there's 2 people that are really prime candidates that I think that would bode well for Louisville, in different ways, right? On one end, you got Jerome Tang. Now, why I say Jerome Tang is because Jerome Tang brings like a swagger back, very confident. He can get it done with mid majors. He can get it done with low level guys, as people love to say. He get on high end guys.
That's the dude at Kansas State, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
good
Okay.
guy. Good guy.
Oh, yeah.
He has
Shut up,
his
Perry.
personality. I think would make for a lot of fun with the rivalry too. Like he's one of the up and comers. Now the only thing about that I will say is that Tang spent 20 years at Baylor, and K-State was the first team to give him the job. He comes across as that guy who would be satisfied with building up K-State because he did it at Baylor. Now, moving on, but I still think Louisville's it's just too good of a job.
You know what? If Tang did go, that would be great for the rivalry just because Kentucky fans are still salty about that. We got more dudes. Comment.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
he
tell you, hold
also
on.
checks a lot of boxes.
He does check
Well,
boxes, but
reason,
there's
and
one
the
more
reason
too.
Kenny Payne got hired, he checks a lot of boxes.
So I'm gonna tell you, there's one more guy too on
I
the
get a point for
opposite
that.
spectrum. No, I do. I actually got like 3 for them for Tang alone. So for the opposite side of that, I think you have another coach in Mick Cronin, who he's a Patino disciple. You know he's going to win at the least of things. You know he's going to win, and
That's
I feel like
that'd be like
I'm just saying. I'm just saying Mick Cronin.
Man,
but you're not getting ready to get
and-
Mick Cronin from where he's at, though, right?
I think
no,
he can
Nick
because
would take the
because
job.
here's
Nick
the thing.
would take that job.
He would because the thing is, I think people don't understand. We have this nostalgia with UCLA when they were like the goods, right? And I feel like everybody's just clamoring to go to UCLA when it's not that attractive of a place to go to, unless you're on the West
be yet
Coast.
another coach we
compete
pull
with
from
too many
UCLA,
other-
because that's where Diddy
compete
Crumb
with
came
too many
from.
other
But
programs
I'm not
in
a
town.
big Mick Cronin fan because
Yes, too many other programs down. You got to compete with the Los
The
Angeles
Lakers.
Lakers. Like it's too much going on.
Rams, the
That's
Lakers.
true.
That's why it's not considered really a premier job at all, because it's hard to get people to buy in to really come over there. Where you go back to Louisville, this area alone within this region is a great area for kids to go to. And Louisville's a big city still. There's a lot of stuff going on. They got the money for it. They got the notoriety for it. To me,
I just want to add one more.
I'm gonna say this. Hold on. I'm gonna say this, Corey Bruce, because you said whoever they bring in will take a while to build. I don't think it actually will. I mean, in this day and age, you have the transfer portal. I mean, you can build a team in 1 year. We've seen it before. It shouldn't
we've seen it
nowadays.
before.
You good with 2 years. I mean, 3 years is probably stretching it now because of the transfer portal. So I don't think it'll take a while, actually.
Kyle did it in 2 years, actually 1 year.
Yeah, he did it in 1 year. Yeah.
He did it in 1 year, and that was before transfer portals and Neil. So in basketball, I think
And Niels.
and Lathan, you made this comment a couple of weeks earlier this season when we was talking about the football. In basketball, it only takes 2 years to turn it around with the right coach.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It only takes 2 years. And,
Don't take that long.
Yeah, I think Patino turned Louisville around 3 years. We was,
In
the Final
He
Four.
was in the Final Four 3 years.
yeah. So
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to tell y'all, this is great. Louisville, we talked about Louisville basketball for 42
Let me
minutes.
say this one last thing, Lathan.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The other
I'm
thing
telling you,
is-
hold on. We got to cheer on that. 42 minutes of Louisville basketball instead of just saying KP got to be fired. I'm loving this. Good job. We got another round of applause for that one.
Let me say
All right. Go ahead, Perry.
this, and then we can transition on. The other thing about how fast it would take to rebuild, the dark cloud is no longer over the program. We are
I
open.
agree
We
with
don't
that.
have any ban. We don't have any. We don't have any of the bad names that were holding us back. So any coach that gets in here can immediately recruit to the brand. We have a strong presence in Louisville. We have strong support from sponsorship. If it's about NIL, that a new coach can come in and immediately work a lot of things up. So I mean, it's not. It shouldn't be that much of an issue to bring somebody in as long as that person is not, is somebody that's determined to come in and work.
Last thing I'll ask you guys about Louisville before we have to move on. Yes or no question. Yes or no answer. Do you think that Arkansas's coach would come to Louisville? Go ahead, P.
Do we want him?
I would say that's the thing. Do you want Musselman? As far as Arkansas, is that you're talking about Arkansas, Eric Musselman?
Yep.
I think Musselman. It's a hard thing because I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing that people don't really realize too. That Arkansas job is a good job.
It is a good job. That's the reason why I asked the question.
Very good job, man.
Yes.
It's hard because when you look at what can be done right at Arkansas.
Eddie Young said bring Scotty Davenport.
no,
That's my dad.
Nobody liked
Can't
that.
even recruit. He can't
he
even
would have been a
recruit.
coach that Kenny Payne should have brought in as
Exactly.
an assistant.
An
I would have
assistant.
accepted
He
him
should
as
have
an
been the
assistant to
assistant.
help him bridge the gap.
You know what?
So-
That's a good point.
That he brought in. He brought in some dude from AAU, and it's like, who is this guy? That was the third assistant coach on his bench. Some dude
Gotcha.
from
He
the
brought
circle.
Scotty in for assistant.
But no, I think Eric Musselman is a hard pull. I think if I wouldn't be shocked if he took the job,
You think
because
that's a better job than Louisville, though? That's the question.
it's not
Arkansas
necessarily.
could-
It's not. It's but I think it gets a little bit more detailed as far as that at Arkansas, right? You have nothing else to compete with.
That's
the
true.
As
football.
far as
No,
there's no other schools really in Arkansas that you're competing with. The football program is you're not competing with. The basketball arena will sell out.
They will.
Continuously.
Bud Walton will sell out.
Bud Walton will sell out and rock. And I mean, you still got that pipeline with Texas. They still get a lot of guys with Texas. It's a lot of stuff that goes good for Arkansas. And the
Okay.
NIL is great. Absolutely great
but
at Arkansas.
after Nolan Richards left, before Nolan Richards, I mean, Arkansas really, to be honest with you, the history, who they are. You say they have nobody in the state to compete with, but they're competing with Kansas. They're competing with Texas. They're competing with the LSU.
Memphis.
They have a tougher recruitment problem than Louisville does competing with just Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So,
But y'all not just competing
on
with
top
just
of that,
Kentucky.
do you honestly think their athletic program would put the money into the basketball like our program would?
They already are, man.
I think they are. I think
They got donors, man. Their NIL situation. I remember when the NIL
You got
thing
Walmart.
broke. There was Walmart. Yeah, they have. I went and looked it up, and the guy was talking about it in our group. He said a lot of people don't realize. We was trying to figure out why all they were getting all these transfer guys. Like almost every single one they was going after. He said, "Man, you got to think." He said, "If you realize who their donors are, these dudes love Arkansas athletics and mostly basketball and football.
hey, they need to
They
help
are not
football.
high with the money, and they have huge donors. I'm
talk
talking about
Papa John.
They don't have to wait for the shoe company. They
Yeah, I ain't got Papa
they
John's
got
no more.
Bro, they got massive
them
stuff.
off.
And so when you talk about competing for certain guys, when I look at you say they're competing with Kansas, which is true. Kansas, honestly, they're still most of the guys they're still competing with are mostly still around Adidas. They are literally the flagship of Adidas. Like even right now, they're about to get the name Darian Peterson, who's the best player probably out of a lot of the high school players, and regardless of class. And he's about to go to Kansas simply because Kansas just signed him as a
Yeah.
16-year-old.
Which
he's about to go to
PJ
Kansas.
that dispelled the myth that Louisville can't get players because of Adidas.
That does. All right, let's go ahead and end that. Let's go ahead and end that segment. We can. I am so happy that we've done almost 50 minutes on Louisville basketball because before now, I thank you, Sean Gurdon. I'm gonna blame it on you. Thank you, Sean
But,
Gurdon.
hey,
Go ahead.
one more thing on Musselman.
All right.
I think I heard his buyout after this year goes down to like $3 million.
Got you. I hope y'all ain't got a crazy buyout on Kenny Payne because if y'all do, he'll be back next year. It's $10
We're
million.
gonna pay it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you got to pay it. You got to pay it. You got to pay it. All right, let's go. Let's move on to Kentucky basketball. We're gonna start with you, PJ. Kentucky basketball. We came through with the win, and we actually had our big man, one of our big men anyway, show up for the game. It was a second game back. I'm sorry, Aaron Bradshaw. Kentucky beat Penn 81-66 after losing to UNC Wilmington last game 80-73. So, PJ, I mean, what I can tell when I watch them with Aaron Bradshaw, the floor raises up, and I believe that you said the same thing as well too. And it actually, when in watching the game against Penn, it affected a few shots until he comes out the game, and then it's not like that anymore. Tell me what did you see? Is this team back? What is the process that's going on? Because there's a process that's going on here.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily they never left. I think literally just again, as we talked last game, it was like a hangover game, man. And I think they also, even in this game, they're still adjusting to having a different type of player on the floor than what they.
You can
had.
tell it.
And even Cal spoke to how they're still figuring out some ways to make sure that it still flows the right way. I definitely give a credit to the emphasis is clearly on defense for sure. Because I mean, Penn the game before shot I think was 21 for 35 from three in the game before, which is crazy.
It's
Or it
Penn,
might-
in the Ivy League school.
Yeah,
According to
exactly.
the stats, they
Exactly,
shot 32% from 3-point.
When this past game,
Yeah.
This past game is 32%. Yeah.
yeah. But I credit because again, this team they beat Villanova. They beat Villanova. They've has played some nice games. Of course, again, as you mentioned, it's an Ivy League school, right? They're better than DePaul for sure, 100% better than DePaul.
Yeah, but
And so
Look,
again,
we already
all we
established.
wanted
And
to
the
say,
shot.
We already
all we wanted
established
to-
that we suck.
because
and
no,
any
because
other additional
because here
comments
it comes. You
is
hear that
just
Come
though?
on.
It's like
beat
Come
the Ivy
on.
League school. I'm like they Ivy League school who's beaten. They beaten Villanova. That's a good win. That's a better win than
it's
Louisville
not.
has, right?
Villanova's not.
Villanova just beat UCLA.
And
Villanova's
UCLA
also
ain't
beat
that
North
good either.
Carolina. They've also beaten
I'm
other
not going
teams.
to talk.
Like,
Villanova was the top 25 team, though.
yeah, they was, and they have beaten top 25 teams. So, anyways, what I'm saying
Miami
is
just got bum rushed by
that's fine.
Colorado, so that
That's
kills
fine.
y'all's momentum a bit.
It does
Y'all
not
not
kill no.
world beaters.
That's the thing. Here's
That's
the thing. Hold on, wait. Because I need to point this out because people like this have the dumbest arguments. Because somebody lost like that against somebody else, oh my goodness, that kills your momentum. Like that they just no, we don't care about that. At that time, we know that this team, Miami, whether y'all like it or not, they're still a
Whoa.
top 25 team. Hold on.
Flag on the
They're top
play.
25.
Flag on the play.
What?
Flag on the play. Personal foul. Personal foul. Number one, you talk about this, but when we get to football,
Exactly.
y'all.
Oh, Kentucky killed Florida State. Louisville.
Kentucky killed y'all. Hey, Florida State. Wait a minute. You
What?
can't have your cake and eat it too, player.
Colorado's a good team. Okay, again, you're not saying anything that is good because Colorado, if you watch them, has pros. They're a good team. Colorado did what they did. They won the game.
Hold
They
on.
did what they're supposed to do. They won the game, right?
Perry, what
Right, they
mic are
won
you
the game.
using?
You heard the motorcycle outside?
Yes, I
Can't do
did.
nothing about that, fam. I can't do nothing about that.
All right. Go ahead, P.
Anyways, like I said, we beat Penn because we're getting off track. And that's what a lot of people like to do. They're like, "Oh, y'all only beat
Yeah, you made a good point in there, though.
Or Miami's lost." Now I'm watching Miami go through and beat a lot of the teams in the ACC. Then it's going to be the ACC
down.
whatever. So of
what we'll
course,
say.
yeah, right. Anyways, but again, they came in and handled business. I like what I seen from them as far as things didn't go their way at first, as far as shots falling the way they thought they would fall. They still they adjusted, made shots. They're starting to see now that people are trying to run them off 3-point lines because they've been making threes. So they're having to take the best shots. UK fans complaining, oh, they're not shooting 25, 33s a game anymore. And it's like, well, defenses are adjusting now. They're trying to guard them differently because they see they're making threes. So now they're
Exactly.
adjusting and they're winning in different ways. And that's what you want to see. And we're going to see that continual growth, hopefully, as we go through these little, 1 game week things. So our next game is against North Carolina.
Yep.
I feel like we're getting primed and ready, and hopefully, I think we get Uganda back for that game. But hopefully, we're also inching closer to getting Big Z
How
back.
does Reed Shepard get so many steals a game? Is he really a lockdown defensive specialist, or he's just very
Reed
smart at
Shepard,
playing lane?
he's
Gamble
underrated.
He's also a gamble defender. It reminds me a little bit of Ashton Hagans. Ashton Hagans was a solid defender, but a lot of his stuff was gamble. And Reed has good instincts.
Corey Bruce, come on the show. Go ahead.
Stacey Shepard, though, he gets from his mom.
Yeah. So, Reed. I think he's underrated in some ways. He doesn't actually look like that quick or fast person, but I mean, he's deceptive, I guess, in some ways, and he keeps showing it. I think the stats show it at almost every single game. It is what it is.
Hey, well, can I say something about Reed? Because I shared the court with Reed a couple of times.
Go ahead. Give us that insight.
This is your Lathan moment. Give it
look.
to us.
Look, I remember, a couple of years, maybe last year at Lexington Catholic tournament, I seen him play PRP where he scored 50. Now, give PRP's guards, who wasn't very big, they made him earn all 50 points. But at the same time, I've seen Reed in high school go down the lane and cram on people. So it was like, and the very first thing that jumped out to me about Reed Shepard, that he's a tremendous passer.
Yeah.
I mean, he would get the ball and he would get it to his shooters, to people underneath the basket, or just get the rebound and get the outlet. And I mean, and his team be on the run. He is a tremendous passer. Was the very first thing I noticed about him when he was a sophomore, junior in high school.
Well, I'll say
So
this. What you saying that it actually goes along with what Chris Mack said, because I was watching the ACC network one time. Well, was it the ACC network? I think it might have. No, it wasn't the ACC network. It was
Field of 64.
The Field of 64. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And they asked
Yeah.
Chris Mack. They asked, was how good Reed Shepherd is? Was it a surprise? He said, "I'm not trying to be a Nostradamus, but no, I seen it coming. He was dominating people while in high school and everything." So it was just it opened my eyes because I was like, "Oh, I thought he was one of those. You know how you can be Eastern Kentucky good, but not really nationally good like that."
That's exactly what it was. I think a lot of people a lot of people discount like the level or skill level of basketball in Kentucky. They think about when they see like a guy, oh, he's good, but he's good in like Kentucky. But like I think my big thing, because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of on it. One thing I wouldn't necessarily upset, but I thought like I felt for his development, it was better if he would have took the offer to go to IMG. That's what I thought. Me personally, I was like, take that offer, go play with other good players, so that when you get here, it's just. But he's already got that. He's cool. But what I think helped it was I watched him play over the summer going into the senior year, and they played against Bronny and all those kids. And you watch and you like, he absolutely belongs. There's no question in your mind when you watch him on the court. Oh, he belongs on this court. Like, and there's some guys who you see that are good. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Travis Perry. I think Travis Perry can score, and that's a whole nother class. But like, if you see him on another stage, you kind of like, does he really belong? You kind of, we'll see. But with Reed, you're kind of like, oh no, he belongs.
He really belongs. Yeah.
Well, because people didn't see his athleticism until you seen him dunk on somebody. Then you were like, oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean, this wasn't just your typical white kid from Eastern Kentucky. I mean, he, like I said, when he went, I mean, he literally went down the lane and saw Odell and was like, yeah, I'm going at you.
Yeah.
And crammed on his head. And, I've seen Reed do that a couple of times.
It's kind of like the center for Denver basketball, NBA. What's his name?
Jokic.
Okay, so it was kind of like this because I heard one of the NBA guys explain it like this. You look at Jokic and you scout him, you wouldn't think that he'll be very good. But the reason why is because you're looking at aesthetics. His game might not be pleasing to you. You might look at him and not consider him a freak because he's not the person that goes and has a 40-inch vertical and can break ankles like crazy. But what he does is very effective, and he does it consistently night after night. And that's kind of like Reed Shepherd. He's not the fastest.
No, but I think that's where he is fast. He is athletic. I just don't.
Yeah, he is, but I'm saying he's not the fastest. He's not like you wouldn't say from end to end court. He's the most elite. Like you would say a John Wall or something like that.
But he's athletic. I mean, if he was another ethnicity, nobody would be surprised. Like I said, when you see him go at somebody and you see him put it on somebody's head, then you're a little surprised that he just dunked on somebody 6'7". You know what I'm saying? So,
yep. But hey, Coach
Tyrone just dunked on Chris Lofton. I mean, Reed and Chris Lofton are totally two different players.
Yeah, they are. They totally two different. Because Chris Lofton, all he could do was shoot. I don't know if he was going to drive the lane and dunk on somebody. If he was going to have the defense,
he'll burn the net.
Yeah, he'll burn.
I was going to say to the passing, there was a couple passes he did that I did like. He did a couple passes to, and this is where having Bradshaw, even though again, I'll say it again until I'm still in that stage of believing. Right, I've never been that high on Aaron Bradshaw, whether he was coming to Kentucky or not. I'm not going to change until I believe. Never been that high on him. And so I'm still adjusting, trying to see what everybody else is seeing.
Yeah.
But I will say the one thing he's doing in his height alone that it changes is it gives you a rim runner in a sense, right? And when you have that, the two-man game that Reed had with him, that Rob had with him in stretches of the game, I felt like it definitely raises the floor because it's like, man, that's something we didn't have at first.
Yeah.
Even on, as you mentioned on defense, there's times that he didn't block the shot, but they was like, I ain't going here for this because he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Well, there. Reed, first thing Reed said was, "Hey, I got somebody I can throw lobs to." He said it with a smile too. So, but yeah, he definitely raises the floor and gives Kentucky a different dimension. Hey, let me get another Louisville fan in here. Perry, did you? Because I know the one on the bottom right didn't watch. But Perry, did you watch that game against Penn? Did you see what Aaron Bradshaw were? Okay, all right.
Moratorium on college basketball with the Louisville fans.
Yeah, he's stuck on Louisville. Okay, that's cool.
Women.
That's
women.
cool.
Let's talk about the women. Let's talk about volleyball. UK volleyball.
I did watch the UK game. I
No.
watched the UK women.
Go ahead.
UK Louisville women.
Y'all see how they want to come off of Kentucky basketball? We spent 50 minutes on Louisville men's basketball.
It's not about Kentucky basketball. It's basketball, period.
This is about basketball, period.
I don't want to talk to you Tennessee basketball fan. I don't want to talk about basketball.
All right, so we got North Carolina that's coming up. That's going to be a good. We already had the SEC, I guess Big Ten challenge or whatever it was.
SEC.
Yeah, ACC SEC challenge. We already had that, but we're going to have another one for Kentucky's sake. Anyway, the next two games are ACC opponents. PJ, what do you see in that Kentucky versus North Carolina game?
I think the North Carolina Kentucky game should be fun. I think there's going to be elements of the game that they play with UConn and the sense of the speed of the game.
Yeah.
That really, just like with that game with North Carolina, you have two versions of North Carolina. You have the team that should have been played against Tennessee and the team that should have played against UConn, right? Like when, just like UK, when they're on, man, I mean, it ain't really much you can do with the type of players they have. They have some nice guys, but I do like our chances with them again. I think that RJ Davis is really good. I actually really, really enjoy their point guard, Elliot Kadu, because he's like the first pass first point guard that they've had since probably Kendall Marshall, for real, to be honest with you. And they have some, and I really enjoy Harrison Ingram. Harrison Ingram is a really good piece that they added to that team from Stanford that I wanted in the UK at one point. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Gotcha.
He's very, 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 very good. I think he brings another tenacity to him. He brings a different demeanor, a different mind, different, a sense of a dog in him, right? He has it in him a little bit, and he helps that North Carolina team with that.
North Carolina.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they guard, like with us with Baycott. I don't think Baycott can really guard Mitchell like that. So it's going to be interesting what Mitchell does in that game for us. But it's also going to see like what we do against RJ Davis, how we play, our guards play against RJ, who takes the reins of guarding him and all those type of things.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how good this young backcourt is going to be. It is for Kentucky against UNC, but at the same time, that is going to be very interesting to see Baycott come out because he's going to have to come out the paint. We're getting ready to play 5 out against them, and he's going to be able to prove. He's going to have to prove that he can get a guard out on the floor. So we'll see that. We'll definitely see that. But then. When you bring in Aaron Bradshaw, and we've been doing, 4 round 1, and sometimes it's been 3 round 2. So those variations in styles, and I guess to see what's going to work against North Carolina. Because one thing that you can't do is just one style and think we are one trick pony, stick to this and do nothing else. We're going to be fine because when it comes later on in the season, people are going to figure it out. And if you can't do anything else, you stuck. So just to see how those different styles work different things work against them. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting, that game. It looks like that ESPN's matchup predictor has UNC winning that game, 53% chance that UNC wins that game. I think that they're probably the favorite with FanDuel as well.
Corrupt arena, y'all win it.
We're not playing that. It's a neutral site game.
Yeah, neutral site game.
They stopped out at home and home. Cal said, I don't want to play at nobody's house anymore.
It says here, where y'all playing it at? Because it says here versus
Vegas. Where's it at?
It's somewhere wherever the Classic is. I don't really know where the Classic is. It should be honest.
Vegas or New York.
We play too many places.
For us, UNC, UCLA.
It could be at the Yum Center to give y'all some business. I'm just playing. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be staying neutral.
It's all right, man. No. You fine.
Oh, it's in Atlanta, Georgia, so it might as well be Kentucky.
You drive on down to Atlanta.
Drive them down a little Atlanta.
It should overall it should be a good game. It's a lot of good matchups. I'm looking forward to see how we play in this game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Go ahead, Perry.
I think it'll be interesting because
I didn't give points. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should have gave him a couple, or not give us some points. But I think it'll be interesting because my observation of Baycott is he's not a very good offensive player. He never has been. The man needs to get out of college. But Cadeau is pretty decent. He does not. It's like he does not like to shoot. He'll get a wide open three and he'll do a pump fake and drive it on in. So I don't know. There's something weird going on with his confidence and his shot making ability. So it's all going to be on R.J. Davis, and it shouldn't be too hard to double up on him at times when he starts driving. He works hard. He works hard. He's going to be tired after this game. Ingram is decent too. He's good. He is sort of an elite player. But when I watched North Carolina against Tennessee, they were blowing them out, and then Tennessee adjusted. And you look at the score in the second half, Tennessee outscored them in the second half. They just didn't have enough clock. So that to me tells me North Carolina still has problems defensively. You watch the game against UConn, definitely had problems defensively. And then, like I said, if you don't have offense down in the post, you're going to be struggling when you go up against people that have post presence. And so I've always said it. Baycott has no place in the NBA, which is why he's staying at UNC, probably milking an NIL deal or two before he goes over to Europe or Mexico, wherever he's going to end up at. So,
I think it's
I
last
think
year.
I'll win.
I'm not. I think we win too. I think. I mean, I'm kind of more so to pick them, but I would choose UK because I feel like
Fair given.
so far what I've seen is that when we played against Kansas when the lights came on, played against Miami when the lights came on. I feel like our guys really responded well to that. And so my hope is that you're playing this
It's a big
game, the lights is
game.
gonna be on, big game everybody's gonna be watching. I ain't gonna lie, Rob is part of his flashy gene. Like whenever the lights come on really bright, he just be like,
That's
okay, let's play
so.
ball.
And that's a good point. That's a good thing right there to talk about. For you lower fans that don't watch Kentucky basketball, y'all gotta go in and watch that because it's the Rob Dillingham experience is just it's a unique experience. It's a fun experience. It's an experience. It's an experience that at one point you're gonna be like, man, that boy's bad. And to the next point, you're gonna be like, what in the world? It's just crazy. He's all over the place. He
I'm gonna
really
tell
Russ
you, he
is.
Smith.
reminds Little fans.
We
Little
had
fans,
Russ Smith.
Russ
We've seen
Smith.
that
He
experience.
reminds you of Russ Smith. If you used to compare him
Catch.
to a little fan, a little player, it would be like Russ Smith in a sense where like he has that flashy East Coast, like he could break you down off the dribble. But like Cal said it like this, and I think he explained it well. He told Rob, he said, look, I can take 6 to 7 Rob plays. Just don't give me 9 of 10. Just don't give me 9 of 10. Don't give me 9 of 10 of them. Don't give me 9 of 10 of them. Because he'll do something that you be like, what? You're like, you don't know what
Right.
I saw him against Kansas.
That's all it
I
is,
saw him
man.
against Kansas, and I was like,
Yeah.
he was hot. He was hot. And then all of a sudden, it's like he thought in his mind he was hot, but his body was hot.
Yeah.
He started throwing him up in the head to take him out of the game. It's like heat check.
Yeah,
another
man.
heat check.
He gonna heat check every time. He gonna heat check every time.
Yeah, he gonna heat check. Definitely gonna heat check. Like he's a fun player, man. I'll tell you. I haven't. He's not my favorite player on the team, but he's one of the funnest. Definitely.
Oh, he's electric. I think again, this is where I try to tell UK fans because UK fans were very like, of course, all of them. When they hear, just I think a lot of people are guilty of this. As Sean mentioned, I definitely follow recruiting much harder when I was younger. But this is one thing that a simple observation from recruiting is that people make a horrible observation that they think that year to year rankings are synonymous. They believe they're like
they not.
whoever like John Wall being the top 3, because in some cases John Wall wasn't even number 1. That players supposed to come out and play like that. Players supposed to come out and play like Jaleel Okafor did in college, right? Like they're supposed to come out there and play like this, and that's not how that works. So when people hear the rankings, they're expecting to see something, and if it doesn't align, oh, he's garbage. And I try to tell people, I said, listen, every single one of those guards we need because they all bring a different element to the game.
They really
Reed
do.
brings something to the game that when you switch it up like that, you got DJ in first with Reeves, and you bring in Rob and Reed. They bring different elements of the game. This past game, DJ affected the game by getting paint touches. He was getting the paint dish.
Yeah.
3, like that's what we missed the last game because Reed sometimes wouldn't really get to the paint. he was just really trying to run the offense and that go through the motions, but he wouldn't actually drive the ball. DJ's going to get to the paint. Now he may give you a missed shot at the rim, but what he's going to do is he's going to cause your defense to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to kick it out, and when he does that, our offense takes on a different look, and it helps us out.
And you just touched on something right there, and I think that's probably the reason why this backcourt works with all these players is they bring something different. Everybody, not one guard is the same, and so when you start mismatching like that, and I think when you do that, it's really easy to tell which lineup should be on the court at certain points or whatnot, because you can tell, all right, we're missing this. Let's move this person in there.
Yeah.
The good thing is we haven't had that foul trouble to where we know, okay, Dillahan needs to go in there, but he can't. Well, I guess we didn't have that one game.
Well, against UNC Wilmington, we had it when you saw them tired like that.
Yeah,
you was like,
DJ wasn't available though.
Right,
so
I'm saying,
so part of that against Wilmington was, we need DJ for this moment. He's not available. He's hurt. Yeah. So,
but also I think we're in this tough spot too of we need Justin to take that next step. I think that's the next step we're in, because right now, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's getting scary for Justin. I hope he doesn't feel the pressure, but it's definitely getting there as we inch closer to conference play that you are probably going to start seeing more of those 3 guard lineups versus Justin being in on there, because they're so much efficient. They're so much more efficient.
Yeah.
When you have DJ, Rob, and Reed out there, or DJ Reeves and Rob, or Rob, Reeves, and DJ, or however you want to do it, Reeves and Rob, or whatever you want them to do. When those 3 are out there together, it's just so much more efficient because all 3 of them can get to the paint. All 3 of them can make a shot. And Justin is he's still trying
to figure it out, but you can see that the wheels are turning a little bit faster now.
He's trying to find his way. And so if he does find his way, of course we go up another notch. Like that's just part of it. Same thing if we get if they make Big Z eligible, I feel like we go up a whole nother notch, because he's a big man, but he's a different type of big man than what Aaron Bradshaw is. And
so what do you think that happens first? Do you think Big Z gets eligible, or Yenso comes back? Which one do you think?
North Carolina. Ugana's playing for North Carolina.
Hold up, time out. What'd you say, Eric? What'd you say? I mean, I said Eric. My God. What'd you say, Sean? I done called you your brother.
Kenny Payne gets fired first.
Kenny Payne gets fired. I thought he said Kenny Payne won those games.
We were wrong.
Yes,
yes. I do think
you were.
Ugana plays. He was out there practicing, jumping around, doing his thing against before the women's European. So I think he does play against North Carolina. I think it's one of those things where again they kind of slowly bring them on. I really wish they would just wait against Louisville, because I really want to beat North Carolina, and I know we're going to beat Louisville. That's not even throwing a shot. That's just because the morale for Louisville is really,
we know
really
it too.
down.
Hey,
yeah, it's really down.
Like, man, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
And I think I always give credit to Cal. As y'all said about Braum and Stu, I give credit to Cal because Cal knows the breadth of the heartbeat of the state. He knows how much to the fans this game means. And now he's not going to try to blow out. If KP's on the sideline, he's not going to try to blow out Louisville. He's not going to.
He don't have to. KP's just going to slip and get blown out. That's all it is. It's like somebody walking on a banana peel.
He does it with a lot of guys, man. He played every single time he coaches against a guy that he's been a part of their journey. You could tell he's.
You're right. He won't.
I'm not trying to do that.
Because he knows if he wins by 40, Kenny Payne's not going to make the press conference.
Man.
No, I don't think that. I don't care how bad UK is going to beat Louisville. That's not going to make a difference. He's either fired before he goes in the game or after. It doesn't matter how bad we lose. What the question would be is if he slips up and wins, then what are we going to do? Because, like I said, we need him to go, but we don't need him to be lucky. This is twice a day. We don't need this to be one of the right times of the day for that clock to work.
Watch him win, and we give him to January 15th.
Somebody told me January 6th.
Why you guys? Hold up. It seems like the worst thing that can happen to Louisville is that they beat Kentucky.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is him to slip up and win, and then here we are.
like Kyra Elsie. Like Kyra Elsie. Kyra Elsie.
Hey man, she ain't got no.
LSU.
She ain't got no hope. She ain't got no hope, man.
Slip up and win, and then here we are. Dang it!
I think Louisville, but I would say this, just like the Texas game, I feel like Louisville's that's a game they're going to get up to play though. Still, I think they're going to feel that. I think if they don't feel any unction in that game, I think even past the coaching to the players, you just know that these guys don't have no heart because there's no way you could. I mean, even Mizzou. Mizzou is a team that it's a rebuild year for them. Now, they still lost to Kansas, but at the beginning of that game, you can tell they know what that rivalry means to them. Even though we think it's a dumb rivalry because they beat them, Kansas beats them all the time. Like to them, it means something because they know they can feel the breath of the university of like, okay, this game means a lot. We're gonna go out here and try to fight, try to win at Allen Fieldhouse, and for a nice chunk of that game, man, they played tough with them, and I feel like Louisville has the talent to try to put up a fight. I think at the end of the day, UK is gonna win.
They better win. If they don't, we questioning Calipari again. Like, what are you doing to mess up with this team? Because you know how our fans are. That definitely would be saying.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead.
Because we only scored 81 points.
Let's right. Let's go ahead and move on a little bit because the Louisville fans are losing interest. They don't want to talk basketball no more once we start talking about Kentucky. So I would be remiss if I don't say this. Let's give big up since this is this is Cats versus Cards. We talking about all. So we've already mentioned Kentucky women's basketball team has lost to Louisville. So let's give it up to Louisville women's basketball team.
7 in a row. Wasn't it like 7 in a row?
It was 7 or 2. Is it 7 in a row? 7 in a row. We're going to give him another hand clap. All right, 7 in a row. Hey, Kentucky.
Oh, man, don't punk out. Give us a big clap. Yeah.
No, I did.
It's our turn now. Our turn, Will. It's our turn, Will. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so
over the weekend, Kentucky,
while we giving them their props, let's give props to the rugby. The rugby national champions. The rugby national champions. And guess what they did, guys? Guess what they did? Not only did the Kentucky rugby team win the national championship, but they beat their arch rivals, Louisville Cardinals, to do it. Come on now. Give it up to them. All right. So we have to get that out the way.
That was hard for you to say all of that, right?
What'd you say? Huh?
Is it a revenue sport? I didn't know it was.
Is it a revenue earning sport? No.
I didn't know we played.
It was very hard.
Dynasty team beat Louisville too.
Does what?
The rifle team.
So now, PJ, now they want to say something. We've been talking about this the whole time.
It's crazy.
It was hard for Latham to even remember that. He don't even know rugby. He don't even know. He don't even care.
Hey,
and didn't he say last week that we're not going to talk about any other sports?
Hey, no, we said that we would mention other sports, but we probably can't do a whole segment on it. Now, let me say this. I don't forget what I was going to say now. You don't make me forget what I was going to say. But Max, he said if UK loses to University of Louisville, he said investigate the whole program. Hey, you know what? You right. That's how bad it would be. And I bet somebody would even bring that up, Max. Bet somebody would bring it up. L's up all day. Philip, stay in Louisville. Philip, stay in Louisville. All right.
Well, like I said, it'd be the worst thing to happen to both programs if he slips up and beats Kentucky.
Well, maybe I should root for Louisville on that game. Hey guys, let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about this Louisville football team. Hey, Sean or because I know Richard don't have any. Sean or Perry, what's up with the transfer portal for you guys? Who are you guys? Do you know? Richard? Because Richard, you don't be knowing stuff like this. Now you'll talk about the team themselves, but when it comes to personnel,
Yeah, we brought in 3 so far. Good transfer portal guys coming in. Got 2 offensive linemen and a quarterback.
What
Which
what do you
is
see? What do you see in this quarterback? What do you see in the
oh, I don't.
quarterback?
I'm going to talk about the offensive linemen first. The
Okay.
one from was it Harvard or Yale? One from
Princeton.
Yale.
Yeah, yeah.
The what?
Thor.
Yeah, his name is Thor, and then the other guy. I can't. What was the other Ivy League school? Is he coming from Duke? No, he's
You
coming from.
struggling, man. You struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling. Go ahead.
One
Pick
is
it
a
up.
defensive lineman. One of them is a defensive lineman from
Yeah,
Yale,
yeah.
and an offensive lineman, a 6'9" offensive lineman from Harvard. And then we got the quarterback, Tyler. His name is pronounced Shug. Tyler Shug from Texas Tech, who is pretty decent.
Is it Suge? I thought it was Show. It's like Suge Knight.
It's like Shao or how, but it's Shug.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Tyler Shaw. It's not Tyler.
But the question, though, I didn't know that the Ivy League
Shao.
had decent defensive and offensive linemen to be playing something that we would be interested in. But I guess they do.
Oh yeah.
The one
yeah.
there was a guy that got. I think he was from an Ivy League school. He got 3 sacks on us in the Florida State game, and he was a Florida State defensive lineman that was just killing us. So they got some good players, smart guys too. They brought the GPA up of the team just by coming
We're
over.
getting ready for the Big Ten. Is that what it is?
Yeah, boy.
They
can't
appeal to the
complain
Big
no
Ten.
more.
When they come swooping in to take Florida State, they can take us too.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it'd be stupid for Florida State to go. I mean, if you talk about the money, I guess, but they got it easy in the ACC.
Hmm. We can all agree on that. We can all agree that they got it easy. Clemson's got it easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should stay where they're at because, like I said, they go to the Big Ten. They're going to be griping and how we got to travel all this way to play these schools and we still can't get into the CFP. We're struggling at 7-5 seasons because of all the those extra teams they got to play. Those Ohio States, Michigans, Wisconsins, the
USC.
and every once in a while
FSU
Iowa.
still goes by. They still go by buses. They don't take planes.
Well, they take planes. I'm talking about it's still a big hit to your athletic budget if you happen to fly those distances.
I mean, Creighton.
Oh, yeah.
In the Big East. Creighton plays in the Big East, so they be going.
But that's basketball. You're not talking.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because you got to fly more people. You dedicating
70 plus versus 15.
Exactly. Yep. So I mean, but that's the reason why to me. That's the reason why to me for ACC to get Stanford and those, it didn't make a lot of sense and they don't add a lot of value to you.
They had to.
I mean,
because it's safety in numbers.
But you're only buying time before your whole program, your whole conference is down. Is because this is what's going to happen. All right, they're going to be flying back and forth. They're going to see that their budgets on what they're spending is going up because they're flying across the country for every other game. Number one, number two. Once those initial years are up, and then you got to do revenue sharing, and you sharing with these guys, you're noticing what Pac-12 noticed is they're not bringing in anything. So you just spending out all this money and you're diluting your pot. You already got Florida State who's talking about, hey, we can ready to leave now. You got North Carolina that's saying the same thing. So you weakened your whole conference.
Okay, here's my question to all y'all. Here's my question to y'all.
Okay.
Do you think in, let's say, 10 to 15 years that we are really down to 2 conferences?
If we're not, it's going to be 3.
And there's not going to be any more NCAA. It's going to be, let's say, 70 to 80 schools, maybe not even that many, who basically said, okay, this is, I guess for lack of a better word, the minor leagues or the NFL.
Yeah.
So basically you might have the SEC and the Big Ten basically is the only 2 conferences that's going to survive.
Hey, do you know that the SEC has already I don't want to say applied or submitted or whatever, but they've already pretty much hinted
they
that that's
got
what
a
they
plan.
wanted. Yeah, they got a plan. They got a whole plan. That's not even that. When we're talking about, oh, they don't want this team, this school, they don't want that school, they want this other school. It's all strategic, and they're going to take their time to let it play out. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I mean, I'm just agreeing with you because me, I got a really good friend, and we've been talking about this for years, and he thinks that eventually, and over the last couple of years with this conference realignment, that we are going to get down to two conference or one mega conference with maybe 60 teams, and they're only going to play each other, and they're only going to share the revenue with each other.
Yeah.
So where does that leave schools like Louisville? Where does that leave schools like Baylor or Cincinnati or UConn? Um, where
Memphis.
then Memphis.
Memphis,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, or even teams from the SEC like Vanderbilt, or Ole Miss, Mississippi State, North Carolina State, Kansas State. Where are those schools? Would those schools be left out?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens.
Read a quick definition.
Go ahead.
Trust busting is the manipulation of an economy carried out by governments around the world in an attempt to prevent or eliminate monopolies in corporate trust. The bigger the SEC gets, the bigger the Big Ten gets, you're probably going to see the government step in because it's going to make college football for the few more attractive than it is for the many. You're going to get to the point where those outsiders are going to get tired of not getting the money, tired of trying to compete. So you're either going to, people keep saying we're going to see two big conferences. We might see two big conferences. It might be the power conference versus the NCAA. And all of those schools might become a whole other level of the NCAA, whereas the TV money and all the revenue and stuff like that goes to those big programs in the SEC, the Big Ten. I don't even know. I don't even think the Big 12 is going to be around. They're going to get us first. They're going to get the ACC first, and then they're going to swoop around and get what's left of the Big 12 because the Big 12 is on life support as well. Nobody's saying that, but they're on life support when.
Their payout is low, and they keep adding these ho hum schools. And it's just like, what are you guys going to do at a certain point when it comes to renewing your TV contract? You're not going to get that kind of money. Yeah, so they're definitely going to be on life support as well. I think all this stuff is going to shake out. Give them good 5, 6, 7 years. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's football is not going to be. It's not going to be desirable. It's going to be like, you look around and you're like, well, what's the G League like? Nobody's really watching the G League unless you live in one of those cities and you're a really hardcore basketball fan. Everybody watches the NBA, and so it's going to shake out like that. And then once that happens, there's gonna have to be some decisions to be made because an athletics department like the Memphises, the Southern Misses, even a Louisville, you're not going to get propped up by the NLI, especially if you have a big school in the same state as you. You're not going to get propped up by the NLI like you think you are, because a lot of the funding and stuff is going to. If you're owning a business, you want your business to be seen, and if your team is on the TV all the time on ABC or ESPN, then you want that team to represent your business so that you can attract more customers.
That's true.
And so it's just a strategic type thing. There's going to have to be some legalism applied to this whole situation at some point in time.
Well, let's talk about this. The new proposal that the NCAA has, that the Big Ten just came out flat out said, hey, we 100% support this, and that's the proposal for schools to directly pay their players. They're basically, I can, off the top of my head, I remember that in part of that paying their players, they're saying up to $30,000 the school will put in, say, a trust fund for the player that they can't touch after they graduate. They also get NIL from the school as well that funnels straight through. Now, like ESPN said, there's got to be some kind of collective bargaining because some schools have more money than other schools. But that right there, I think in NCAA. Yeah, you have Title IX, so there's issues with that, and I think that's where you have it'll separate the haves and haves nots, but at the same time, because of Title IX, like you just said, all these big time, they're saying right now, you go into the portal and you asking for a couple million because you're a top rated quarterback. All that stuff is going to be starting to come down, and because right now you've already got them talking about these collectives attached to the schools that shouldn't be anymore, and you're going to be losing your 501c3 status. So now you got businessmen like, oh, so I can't write that off on my taxes. Maybe I don't want to do that, And so if you're saying that if I offer this contract to this other person, I have to offer the same contract to a woman. I don't want to do that because maybe they don't get the exposure that the man gets. So I'm going to have to offer the man less. All of a sudden, this money comes down. But it's also going to separate between the have and have nots because what Alabama and what Texas and what Oklahoma is going to offer, Cincinnati's not going to do that. SMU, now they got some oil money. But you know what I'm saying?
And here's my question: what is it that makes college football special? Why is it that we have become fans of college football and college basketball? Do we start to cut? Does college football cut its own throat by now? It's always been about the money, but you start losing the pageantry of what made college football not the NFL.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, what draws people to Saturday? Are they going to start to lose that because it becomes okay? Now you don't have, Alabama playing, SMU, or in March Madness you don't have the 14, beating the 5.
Yeah.
You don't have these upsets and the things that we that made us fall in love with college sports in the first place, which is different than the NBA and different than the NFL. Doesn't lose that.
And I think that's the reason why that you see SEC, they're willing to grow, but they're growing strategically. And at the same time, what did the commissioner say? These rivalries, we don't want to see go away. So we're going to try to preserve these rivalries. Go ahead.
What about academic standards? Once you start tilting toward the money side of this, you recruiting players that's going to make you bring in the money. That's going to be kind of hard, especially in places that like Notre Dame and places like Penn and all these other places that require a higher academic standard. Yes, they're getting, but that curve is getting steeper and steeper to try to surmount. So.
But see, you make a good point, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think that you got to separate the athletic program from the academics. Because when you do talk about, you are the athletics is already
professional scenario though.
But it does. But I mean, at this point, that's where we're heading already. That's where we're heading already. But you're also introducing a lot of scenarios in there where you can have a lot of corruption that's going on. I mean, because now with all this money and stuff that's going on, I'm definitely going to be passing players so they can stay eligible, and you've introduced FanDuels into that too.
Standards to get them in. Yeah.
Hey, let's have a teacher that says, "Hey, I got to pass you on this test because if you don't play, and I done bet for you on FanDuels." Like, what's going to happen? Yeah. All of a sudden, you got that A real quick. You know what I'm saying?
I get fired, so I don't want to get fired.
I mean, cause it's just the territories that we're tracking through right now. It's going to be hard. Go ahead, PJ.
To get back on a little bit on the other track,
because we way off track.
Our Louisville fans, I got to ask this question: are you worried about the QB? Because the QB y'all got. Because this is what I think. I think when he's able to play, he's definitely good. Like, I mean, he has the numbers to show you. He can run. He can throw. Those are nice.
Who are you talking about? Plumber?
Shaw, Suge Knight.
We still got a bowl game, so I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's still in the moment, man. He's in the moment.
But I'm saying, are you worried? Are y'all worried about him though? Because when you look at his stats, the most games he's played in a year is 7 games, and by the 7th game, he's injured. So, are y'all worried about that, or Is it not
I
worrying
mean,
you?
it has to be a concern because I think they said he broke his collarbone.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had another shoulder issue. I'm not sure if it was his throwing arm or not, but obviously he's had some injury issues, and that's got to be concerned. And and correct me if I'm wrong, Louisville has a deep quarterback room, and they ain't lost nobody yet. My question is, was Perry the quarterback that they brought in?
Pierce,
Pierce, yeah.
Pierce Clark.
Um, you know, will is this a competition? Could Pierce be the starter next year?
Well, that's the good question because I know PJ in text was highlighting how the narrative has changed, or at least the tone from fans have changed, and we're trying to also figure out is he coming in to start? Is he coming in because if all what your insiders are saying about Pierce Clark is true and he's that good, why would you get Shug, whatever his name is, and he's got 1 year? If you a person that comes in, he has one year. He's not coming in to sit on the bench. I mean,
Well, I
so
mean, but isn't that college football today that you want quarterbacks who are juniors and seniors? And
yeah,
I mean, it seems like
Well,
I
everybody is starting to do that.
I agree with that. But in the college football of yesterday too was let's do the competition. Who's going to start? But now with NIL number one and with the transfer portal number two, it's kind of like let's bring in a quarterback that will start. You know what I'm saying?
and then we still school up the bench so
Yeah.
that when he becomes a junior, senior, or fifth year senior, he can start, and we don't have to keep going to the transfer portal. He can start right away. So I think
Sound like
that's
kind of
what
what
I've
we're
been
doing with
hearing.
Cutter.
That's what I've been hearing with the talk when they brought Plummer in. That's what I've been hearing with, that's the strategy most of these coaches are going with. We're going to bring in the experienced guy to play the 1 to 2 year, 1 year, and then at the same time giving our second, third string more reps and practice and more experience, or watching from the sidelines experience. So when they get to become juniors and seniors, we're at least avoiding some of those freshman mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard about with Vandergriff and Cutter. Pretty much is with Vandergriff being a multi-year guy, you got Cutter coming in who's able to just be a freshman. You
Yep.
know, he's able to not have to. He's not gonna have that pressure coming in year one, um, and perform at that level. But you get to kind of get him in and groom him. He's coming in a semester early too, so hopefully that works out. So I definitely makes sense. I just didn't know because again, as Will mentioned at first, when I was on social media, the hype was we're getting this guy, we're getting this guy, we're this guy, we're getting this guy, and then it went down to oh, we got Tyler Shoe, and it's like oh, he's the guy, and people started going crazy. And when I looked at stats, I was like, oh, I see some good stuff, but then at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I was like, this dude's only playing 7 games a year, if that,
Yeah.
and he's throwing quite a few interceptions too, along with that too. So like,
Well, I can
I'm
tell you,
not sure how y'all felt about it.
Kentucky fans can tell you the pain of having a quarterback that gets injured and then comes and be your quarterback. So
Jeez.
I just say good luck to you guys on that. But I think PJ, you did just highlight something about DJU and Louisville as well. So
Yeah,
I think
could be
that's
something
just a
there as well.
rumor. I think that's just a rumor.
You think it's just a
Yeah,
rumor?
Yeah, they're saying
I can't,
it's more Penn State and some other school. I don't know.
I
I
can't
You
figured
got to
that
be
see.
he'd be at
careful with
Florida
Twitter,
State.
man. You got to be careful with Twitter and social media because you got people dropping little dimes and this and that, and like the whole thing with Kenny Payne being let go like in a couple of days.
oh yeah,
It
I
was
knew that
some
was
guy
fake.
that was testing it out to see how many people jumped on it. Now, brother, you just got the
What do
money for
they
all of
call
those
it? They call
clicks,
that
all those
clickbait.
tweets.
So I,
Yeah,
I, I would say
Mm.
the guy did post. It was a reputable post. Like it was a guy who was. It wasn't some random guy, but they were just saying that what they were all the only they were highlighting was that on the crystal ball someone had logged something that said DJ. One of the scouts did for DJ to Louisville. And I thought it was interesting. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy because again, it meant you the tune had changed. Right, the tune at first to me what was being told to me was oh, Tyler's coming as a backup. We're getting DJ or we're getting Dylan Gabriel or some other McCourty. I'm like, that's crazy. And then
Mm-hmm.
when Tyler committed, then it's changed to we got this great guy who could be a Heisman quarterback who, changed Oregon. And I was like, it was news to
who's
me.
Who said could be
Louisville
hot?
fans.
No,
Louisville
man,
fans.
you talk to the wrong Louisville fans.
Hey,
I'm just telling you.
y'all say a lot of stuff on Twitter.
Louisville fans tell me
Exactly.
this.
Hey,
Louisville-
Will, what do they tell me? They always
Yeah.
come to me with generalized talking about UK fan this, UK fan. Hey, I talk to Louisville fans too, and bro,
Yeah.
they be saying
Y'all say a lot of stuff on Twitter.
Quit giving credibility.
I say
to
a lot
crazy.
of stuff, but I don't go out of the way and say we got Heisman Trophy candidates and we going to the ACC championship and we're gonna win it and all. So no. Your typical U of L fan is reasonable and they realistic.
They are?
Like UK.
they are. Hey,
They,
man,
they are.
To keep Kentucky's going to beat Louisville. I mean, how much more
Hey,
racist?
Francis, what's the most outlandish thing you've seen me and the Louisville fans on this podcast say?
Oh, on the podcast or in text message?
It doesn't matter. Podcast.
Okay.
Putting out there in the masses. What is the most outlandish thing you've heard Louisville fans say?
Now y'all been reasonable on here. Y'all been reasonable on here.
We're
I
not
give it
out
to you.
here telling you
I'm gonna give
that,
you an
it's
example.
going to be a 9-win season, first game of the season. We're not talking that now.
No, I'm gonna give you an
I can't
example.
say that for the UK fans.
I'm gonna give you an example.
We got
Jake Plummer, when Jake Plummer was announced as our transfer last year, I looked at his stats and I was like, "Hey, he looks pretty good. I think he's gonna be great." And then Lathan, you were like, "No, I don't know about that. There's a reason why he's ranked." So I was like, "Yeah, maybe you're right." And then I was like, "Well, they said he's gonna be good in practice. He did this and that," but I never promoted that man as Heisman. I got to the point where after the first quarter against Georgia Tech, I was like, man, this man can't even throw pro throws. He can't even throw.
Yeah.
He can't even throw bullets. He doesn't have drive on the ball. So he ain't. He's just there to manage the offense. And so
I give it to you.
we get reality. We get reality. No Louisville fan said we were going to go 12-0 or 11-0. Some said it's a possibility.
I did say 10-2.
You
You
said
said
what?
10-2?
I
You
said
said at
10-2.
the beginning of the season because most of
I
us
said there was a
said
possibility.
7-5, 8-5 in that range.
Yeah, we were like,
We
I was
thought
like,
that.
my bottom is set. I can see us
bro,
going.
most of
75.
us is not 8 people though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because I can find 25 people right now.
I only need to find 2
Exactly.
on this podcast.
That's
That was talking 9-win seasons.
That's what I'm saying though.
Dietrich,
I only
that's
need to
crazy.
find
You
2.
count Dietrich, but he ain't.
The generalizations be off.
He don't show
Listen,
up.
no.
He always
This
grenade runs out.
craziest things. Hey, look.
Hey, man.
Things with fans, bro.
Dietrich, you gotta quit missing because they gonna break you up.
But that's one of the craziest things with fans that I hear so often, bro. Is that like everybody's allowed to take our like couple fans, few fans over here, and then be like, "Oh, that's a UK fans thing." But
Yeah.
we do, it's like, man, that's not how. It
Exactly.
Leave that
I'm like,
outside,
bro,
though. for
here's the
real.
thing. At the end of the day, like with any other program that has like a lot of fans, especially a lot of fans that are loud, you're gonna hear horrible takes. That's why I mute UK fans. I mute UK fans on Twitter because they say some of the dumbest things. But you know what?
I just don't go on message boards.
When I go look at IU Twitter, when I look at Arkansas
Same
Twitter,
thing.
when I see it's everybody across the board has passionate fans who will say just some of the most outlandish things, and it makes everybody else look stupid.
Stupid stuff, man.
I'm gonna say this. Yes, that
Go
is
ahead.
true. Everybody has they're fanatics. That's why the term fan. That's where the definition of fan comes from, being fanatical. But with that being said, there are 2 or 3 on this podcast stream.
Don't say
that were
2 or 3.
seriously at the beginning of the season going like this on the schedule. I know we got Florida.
I think we can win 10 games.
We got South Carolina. Tennessee's
Georgia lost
gonna be
their
a
quarterback.
flip. See, this is what y'all were doing. Y'all were literally game
Especially
one,
after Florida. After
going
they
down
beat
your
Florida,
schedule,
it was like,
telling us
we
that
can go
was
to the
gonna
national
be
title.
season.
Oh, Alabama's quarterback's not playing well. We can beat
And then
them.
y'all said, we're gonna lose to Georgia.
Nobody ever
Nah, ain't nobody say nothing about Alabama. Nah, nobody said anything about Alabama.
Literally,
We
I
can
think
win
10
the
wins.
SEC
I think we
East.
Hey,
can 10 wins.
hey, I was, you know what? No, actually, because I give a range. I don't give exact numbers. I think I did say anywhere between 7 and 10 or 7 and 9. So I was with it because you never know what happens. So that's the reason why I don't ever give exact. So I was in the ballpark. I'm still disappointed, but I was in the ballpark.
Leary was gonna be Heisman for you guys.
But I do.
No
Hey,
one ever said
Ross.
Great quarterback whisperer was gonna make Leary the Heisman.
I'm gonna say this, Ross. You gotta report here too, because hey, when you was on, you put a lot on it, and I was just like, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go, man. So you gotta report.
So hard, they needed to bring him a towel and some water. That brother was preaching.
Go ahead.
I have a Louisville question. If we would told you in August that Louisville would go 10-3, but their losses are to Florida State in ACC championship, Pittsburgh, and Kentucky, would you take it 10-3 in ACC championship, or be playing in ACC championship but losing the UK, or 9-4 and beating UK?
Oh, that's a question for the two
Losing
Louisville.
Taking a loss to even Miami, or let's say NC State or Notre Dame.
Which one is it?
Let me answer that first.
Go ahead.
Number one, because of the fact that at the beginning of the season we were picked to finish 8th in the ACC, and we got people on this podcast that will tell you that the best teams in the ACC couldn't beat the 5th and 6th teams in the SEC. All that garbage.
They couldn't beat the 8th best.
Any one of those two scenarios would have made U of L, fans hysterical. I mean, yes, I'm glad for 10-3. It's another double-digit win season. We're going to a decent bowl game, playing a blue chip program. We went to the ACC championship, something we haven't done, and it's a big opportunity. Now, would we like to have beaten UK and taken that 9-4? I think we would have been satisfied. But since Florida State didn't get in, I don't know where our bowl would be at 9-4, but we'd still be going bowling, so I'd still accept that anyway. So either one of those two scenarios is a flip of a coin, because at the beginning of the season we were picked to finish 8th.
Richard,
8th team in the ACC is a 7-5 team.
Richard, let's be honest. You would have took that 9-win season to not have me in your ear talking about in your house.
Oh my
Let's
God,
be honest.
That was so demoralizing. But I
loved it
next year, because I'm hoping that I get to do that to you and
I got you.
Whatever y'all call it.
Now, isn't it true that in the UK UofL series, the road team has a winning record?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. More times than not, the road team in that series has won the game.
Perry, you know stuff like that.
I don't know the record situation. I just know since my daughter's been born, she's never seen UK.
Well, that may be true, but check this out.
Exactly.
Check this out. I'd rather my infant daughter.
Since my granny died, we ain't never
My
seen
daughter's going to first grade. She's going to first grade.
My infant child be innocent than to have to take that smack down at puberty. Because that's when they start asking questions. Daddy, why do we take this beat down? That's when they start asking questions.
Hey, wait a minute. Richard, hold on. Richard is saying that, but he know I had Richie thinking after the game. I had Richie thinking. He's like, wait a minute.
What did he properly tell you? Without hesitation, what did he tell you? He told you to go take a leap, didn't he? Both my boys wouldn't hear that mess. Your daughter may not have seen and witnessed a UK beatdown, UK losing to Louisville, because she's an infant. But don't let that happen when she's an infant, because that's a smackdown that you're gonna have to explain.
Wait, what
you can't wash it under the rug like, no, baby girl, we didn't. You just mistaken. We did. You can't watch that. They cognizant now. They're gonna be asking you those.
You can see ends at 1 year. She's going to first grade. Not it's gonna be 1 year. She's going to first grade. I'm saying she ain't
never seen UK compete for an SEC title either. She ain't never seen UK
us.
compete.
So here we go.
Hey,
PJ, you know the subject's always got to change a little bit. The goalposts got to be moved. Yeah.
It's not.
Let me ask a question.
Hold on.
Has your daughter seen UK beat Georgia?
Oh, no, she hasn't.
She hasn't.
She hasn't seen them beat
Cats versus-
Alabama.
Let me ask you this question.
Cats versus
Has your
Cards.
daughter seen UK beat South Carolina?
There goes Marion Brown. Touchdown.
You're funny. All right, guys. We are almost 2 hours in. We are almost 2 hours in. We did enough. For this week 15. We didn't even get through everything. It's a good conversation. Thank you, Sean Gurton, for coming through for the first time. This is the first time, but guys, this won't be the last time. I appreciate you. Thank you, PJ, for being here. Thank you, Perry, for being here. Thank you, Richard, for being here. For everybody else that tuned in to watch us, appreciate it. We thank you all the comments. See you next week. Same time, same place.
Where's the speech?
Hey, man, we already 2 hours in. Y'all good. Y'all won just about every single week except for one. So we see y'all later. Peace. See you guys.
Later.